All right, I'm going on record. I am going on record to say this. Biggest financial opportunity of your lifetime is now. It's happening now. It's the intersection of multiple trends, of multiple opportunities, of multiple mistakes by other people. A few of you will catch it, very few will. Let me speak to those of you who are on the train of potentially catching it. Um, I'm shooting this live just because I want to document this one day to be able to say this video. I told people right now. So I'm reading this article today, and it's about Sears going bankrupt. Um, I read another article about the top Y Combinator companies. These are multi-billion-dollar companies that have been formed in the last few years, right? And I'm reading them and I'm reading them and I'm going, wait a second, what's going on here? What's happening? Learn to read between the lines if you want to do big things. Don't ever just read, you know, the article and go, oh, this journalist is telling me this. Like, look beyond. What is the journalist telling you beyond this? And what I took from it is okay. Let's just take this. Sears starts in the 1800s. Okay, Sears starts in the 1800s. What happens to it? It becomes the biggest force in history. It literally changed the world. People don't realize how much it changed the world. Like, I'm on my farm right now, and a barn that's on this farm was delivered by Sears in like the early 1900s. So you were buying barns, you were buying clothing. It basically shut down the way the economy used to be in the 1800s, because in the 1800s what happened was you would go to your local butcher, you would go to your local shoemaker, you would go to your local tailor who would make your clothes, and all of a sudden Sears became this new force. You would buy from one central place, and you could do it through their catalog. Before the internet, there was mail. You would mail them a check, or you would mail them cash, and they would mail you back whatever it was, or they delivered on train. So that's a trend 100, 200 years ago. None of us could have caught that trend because we were not alive. I'm assuming you're not over 150 years old. So then this new thing comes along, internet, 1990s ish, 94. Jeff Bezos starts Amazon, not mass adopted. 2001, it's not doing so well. Um, 2008, economy crashes. Then all of a sudden, this next thing came, which was social media. And right away, you start seeing big companies go bankrupt, like Kodak goes bankrupt in 2012, right? Right around the time that Instagram becomes big. So you start seeing the mass shift between physical to digital. Physical to digital. It wasn't just the internet, it was that people were actually adopting digital versions of physical things. You saw with Netflix and Blockbuster, people didn't need to hold a DVD or go to a physical store. They were okay with digital Netflix delivery. And so right now, you find yourself in 2018, and what's happening is it's been going up. This opportunity has been getting bigger and bigger and bigger, but eventually it will reach a crescendo or reach a plateau, and it's going to start to drop, and it will not work as much. Um, it won't work so well. And when it stops working, the profit will come out of it. It will be very hard to make money. So e-commerce right now, you can make a website right now. I can show you how to do it. You know, make I make more than $1 million a month doing e-commerce. So I can tell you, and that's not my only business, but just from that e-commerce side, I can tell you that it works. I can tell you how to build the website. I can tell you how to do the marketing. I can tell you how to form your company, how to name your company, how to form LLC, all this stuff, how to do it for yourself or to do it for other people. But, but you have to be motivated enough to actually do it. And sometimes people say, "Oh, Ty, I see you on it online, and it feels like you're pushy and you're salesy." And I'm like, "Wow!" In hindsight, you know what I wish? I wish when I was 15 years old, somebody had pushed me in the right direction, had been salesy, had been persuasive, and convinced me. As long as they were convincing me of the right thing. So if you're pushing people into something poisonous to their life, yes, then you're a used car salesman. If you're selling junky cars, yes, if you're a snake oil salesman, if you're selling people snake oil. But what if you're selling them? What if you're pushing and motivating them into something that's just like a parent? I mean, you have to be a fool nowadays to argue that the future won't be digital, um, that the future won't be social media interactive, right? Social media is interactive. TV commercials were not interactive. You watch a TV commercial, you do not interact with it. You're just a passive viewer. And you watch that commercial and you go, maybe I'll buy this. But that's not the same as when Fashion Nova, which is doing $400 or $500 million in clothing sales, when they put a piece of clothing up, they can see how many likes it gets, which is the equivalent of votes, which is the democratization of e-commerce. And that's why social media is very powerful. And when you blend together those two things, social media, which allows you to have an interactive experience with your customers, and then you understand e-commerce, well, with e-commerce, all of a sudden you have the ability to literally take a credit card from somebody, no matter where they live in the world. You don't have to pay rent on your storefront. All you have to do is have a website. Um, Someone said, "Ty, I started a t-shirt business, made over $500. Cool. That's great. There's a lot more opportunity than that. Easy Fit Ty just closed a $2,000 a month client. Is there a way I can tell you about it? Yeah. You can DM me on Instagram if you have a success story. Um, yeah, we look for those. So what is the opportunity? It's learning e-commerce. It's basically learning to take anything physical, find a market that you're interested in. It could be cannabis, it could be food, it could be travel, it can be clothing, it can be music, anything that used to be or still is physical primarily, and move it digital. For example, banks are physical, and then PayPal came around, and then Venmo came around. And so instead of physically going to a bank, now digitally you transfer money. Much easier with no bank, never having a physical experience. Um, Another example of this would be like Uber Eats. You used to have a physical experience of going into a physical restaurant, buying food, bringing it home. Yes, you could have, there was pizza delivery, but amazingly, pizza delivery didn't catch on for all restaurants. The restaurants were stupid. So this Uber Eats comes in, and Grubhub, and there's a few other ones. And now a physical experience is just food brought to you through a digital app. And the more ideas that you come up with like that, each one of those has the potential to make you a millionaire, if not a billionaire. I just read that the, the lottery has like $700 million in it, and people are so excited. I'm going 700 million. I'm talking about $1 trillion shift. Trillions. 1,000 times bigger and 10,000 times bigger globally. And so this economic boom is going to just become ordinary people that see what the ordinary person can't see. So they're ordinary in the sense you may be ordinary in that you live in an ordinary town, and by looking at you, no one could tell that you're going to catch an opportunity, but you have extraordinary vision to see what most people don't see. And that's what it takes to make money. For those of you who don't like your income, I've been talking about this week while I'm on my farm and saying I'm pushing people into this. And I come on live here for, I got 6 hours. I put the link down below. I'll train you for the next 3 months in e-commerce. I'll give you my blueprint, exactly the blueprint that I use with multiple businesses. I'm launching a new business Thursday. And we're going to be doing grass-fed food, a box delivered to your door, so that you no longer have to go to the farm. You no longer have to go to Whole Foods. We ship it right to your door. And we use dry ice, and it gets there frozen. And grass-fed beef and chicken and pork and all this stuff. And that's e-commerce experience. And I'll just show you how I do that. There's a way to just set that up, and it's not that complicated. You can literally, I can show you how to do it. And give you my blueprint. And for those of you who are interested, like I said, I'm going to put the link below. Or you can go to tylopez.com/blueprint live. I got it open for 5 more hours that I'm going to do scholarships. I know some of you can't afford the full price that we had it open in the summer. And yeah, someone says, is e-commerce a business you can do outside of your 9-to-5 job? For sure. For sure. Drop shipping, you can do drop shipping. I mean, drop shipping is one form. There's lots of things. You can manufacture your own product. I'm launching a clothing brand. Well, we launched a couple months ago. We did a test launch. We're launching the next version. And there we're just wholesaling clothes, so you can wholesale. You can drop ship, which is mean basically it comes from China or a big place, on demand. You don't have to have a whole bunch of inventory. You can manufacture your own product. I have friends doing that, and we do that for some of our own stuff. So there's no right or wrong way to do it. Each one has a pro and a con. You know, what does the scholarship consist of? So basically, it's 3 month program, and I'm going to um, I put it in payment plan, or you can pay it at one time, and I'm going to pick up some of the cost. So after 6 hours, the price goes. Phew. Ty, where do I get funding for my app? It can change the world. Here's the thing: for all of you who have an app idea, um, you definitely should get in this course. It's not enough to just have an app that you think. Apps need e-commerce too. They need when I say e-commerce, they need to monetize, a way to monetize. Because if you can monetize your app, then you can spend money on advertising. If you can advertise your app, you have a 10 times better chance of growing than if you're just completely relying on virality. Virality can work, but it also doesn't always work, so it's a tricky thing. Ty, is having wealth the definition of success? No, I don't think so. I mean, I think the definition of success is whatever you perceive success at. And if you study human psychology, humans define success in a relatively narrow band of parameters. Like, for example, we can define what not being successful is. Someone said, Ty, the link doesn't work in your description. Just go to tylopez.com/blueprint live. I'm not sure what link I have in the description. Maybe I can change it. But you can just go to tylopez.com/blueprint live. That's the simplest way. But the question of, what makes you successful, again, there is an easy definition. What is not successful? Most people would agree on what not successful. Or if you looked at someone's life and you said, yes, they're not successful, what would you mean? What would cause you to say that? They hate their job, high levels of stress, low levels of freedom, bad social circle, no access to things they want access to. So Charles Wynn say, Ty, I bought your SMMA course, got my first client a month ago. Awesome. What do I think of video games? I know spamming, but I need to know. I don't play much, but I feel lazy. I mean, look, everything in moderation. You do not want to play video games all your entire life unless you're getting paid professionally, and even then, it's like you don't want to stare at a screen. Why do you think I'm at my farm right now? You want to be out, like, connected to life, reality. So SMMA or e-commerce, doing both for sure. We'll talk about that later, but basically, if you just do e-commerce and don't know social media, you won't get any people visiting your website. And if you just know social media and no e-commerce, you'll have a lot of followers but no income. There's a lot of people like that. So what I recommend, this is what I recommend. Simple 1, 2, 3 step formula. Step 1, find something you use that's sold by a physical company. So for example, books was one for me. I go to Barnes & Noble, books. The hardest part when you go to Barnes & Noble, they got so many freaking books. I couldn't figure out which ones to buy all the time. And I'm focused on books. So the average person just gets overwhelmed there and doesn't really buy anything or doesn't know if they're buying the best. So step 2, launch your company. So step 1 is find something you use that's physical that you think you can bring digital. And step 2, launch your company. So I formed an LLC, bought a domain name, mentorbox.com. Step 3 is build your website and drive your traffic. Now, I'm oversimplifying this, but I'm just giving you a simple 1, 2, 3. So I built the website, me and my business partner, and we sent traffic to it, build a funnel, and now it makes $1 million a month about, and I spend an hour a month on it. So that's a simple 1, 2, 3 path. The key thing is product selection. A lot of you suck at making money, not because you suck as a person or you're not intelligent, but nobody ever trained you how to pick products that sell themselves. And I'll talk about there's a process where you can pre-test. I call it pre-testing. I don't launch any business I haven't pre-tested. Every business that I've ever launched, I mean, since social media existed, was first tested. And that's another thing that's great about social media. With social media, you get the ability to pre-test ideas, so you don't have to spend $100,000 launching a business that wouldn't work. You know, how do you start your online business from nothing? Well, Mentor Box, we didn't put any money in to start. The first 3 months, we didn't put any money in. After we saw, and it got to 7-figure business. So after that, we put 100 grand in, and now last valuation was like $40 million or something. So not bad in a year and a half or 2 years. Ty, would you suggest grocery delivery to people's doorstep? Sure, but you have to put an angle on that, you know, just because there's some companies already doing that. Um, is this the same how you make money online? Yes, if you're already in it. Hmm. Best platform for e-commerce. I mean, the most important for platform for e-commerce is not whether you use Shopify, ClickFunnels, Amazon. You can end up eventually using most of those. The main thing is product selection. So one of the things I'm going to do in the 3-day training is focused on product training, product selection, pre-testing, all those things. It's a proprietary system that I've built, and it always works. It either tells you thumbs up or thumbs down. How do you pre-test an idea without a product? Haha. Well, there's a lot of ways you can do it. It can be as simple as, Twitter polls. It can be as simple as making a video, making a few videos, and finding which one has an outlier amount of followers. Um, it can be as simple as talking to people in person. There's ways to set up test groups very inexpensively. Very. Talk about a vegetarian meal packet plan for sure. Huge money in veganism, vegetarianism, keto, paleo. People love their diet. They'll defend their diet more than defend their own family. How can I leverage a college campus to market your business? Well, Uber and Lyft did. Uber and Lyft paid brand ambassadors to go out and give out coupon codes and all this. They did it so much it almost got banned on some college campuses. It was crazy. Tiny advice for a 15-year-old entrepreneur: start now. It's not too early, man. Too early is basically impossible. How could it be too early to get on the right track? Like Bruce Lee or whatever, he's like taught his son Brandon karate or kung fu, I should say, when he was 1 years old. Do you think he should have waited? Jiu-jitsu, MMA people, Gracie's, they're training their kids at 1 or 2 years old. You think it's too early? No. By the time they're 15, they're badasses. So the world sucks because they get you started at 22 when you graduate college. I'm going, 22, you're about 20 years late. But the problem is, who's going to teach you? If you're like me, my mom didn't have ninja skills in making money. School, teachers definitely don't. I mean, a lot of teachers in school read out of the books. They have a little study packet and just read it like, I am a robot. I am a robot, do this. I mean, you definitely not going to learn from somebody like that. So, when do I need to hire employees for my e-commerce business? You'll know when, Adam, when you're making too much money and you can't handle it. It's a good problem to have. First world problems. First world problems. I have $21,000 in my bank. What would you suggest? Spend some of it on training your brain, some of it on reinvesting or whatever made you money already, and spend some of it on gambling on new ideas. Best advice for high school students after school. Like I said, never think about yourself as young unless you're 2 years old. If you're 15 years old, well, scientifically, your IQ peaks around age 14 and 15. Certain parts of your IQ, things like memory and speed and things like that. So you're not that young. By age 24, 25, your brain starts to seal over. It becomes very difficult to learn new things. So, have I ever flipped cars? No, but you could. It's a great little business, man. Car flipping, especially if you understand social media marketing, and e-commerce. You can list all the cars on a website. I mean, people selling cars on eBay and Amazon. But the key is to be able to find buyers, and that's the social media side and the marketing side. What's the first thing you would do if you lost everything and had to start over? I mean, I will get into what I'm talking about for you guys: social media marketing and e-commerce. Is $3,500 enough for e-commerce? Sure. Step number one: find a product you already use. I use books, so I sold books. You could do. Everyone eats food. You love food a lot. You're a good cook. Start with food. You love coffee. Start with an e-commerce coffee website. I'm surprised more people aren't doing that. Starbucks made people rich. Half the world drinks at Starbucks. Real estate. Well, real estate's another one. Real estate's going digital. There'll be fractionalization of ownership. That's what cryptocurrency was doing, and um, some of the blockchain type companies. Um, but Zillow was an example of something that was an e-commerce version of real estate, a physical thing. So if you're into real estate, there's another thing. Can you do social media from scratch as a college student? Oh, someone said Ty's your house on Zillow. H3H3 made that video saying, Ty, where Ty lives is on Zillow. Anybody could rent it. So I went over to, I'm on his podcast, and I'm like, Ethan, Google Zillow, the White House. The White House is on Zillow. I said, you do know, Ethan, that every single house in America is on Zillow. That's okay. He didn't know. Um, we had a laugh about it. Airbnb, great business. Airbnb is a great business. For example, I've got guys that follow me that are going out and doing Airbnb and re-renting properties out. I got a guy who's got like 13 properties, a couple in Europe, a couple in the US. I think he has a few in Puerto Rico, and he's netting like 15 grand a month. So, yeah, how can you be the president? I don't know if you'd want to be the president. I don't know how somebody would want to be the president. How much startup equity should a technical co-founder get for a digital product? Ooh, that's a tough question, man. Anywhere from 1% to 80% of the company. Hey, that's that. You have to just use common sense with equity. You just go, okay, use common sense. How much am I really entitled to if I wasn't a greedy person? Most people proceed from greed and they go, I want 80%, but how much are you really worth? That's very different. Like if you dropped off out of the project, would it completely go to zero guaranteed? Well, then you're worth a lot. I failed with e-commerce for 2 years and I feel depressed. Well, again, the reason I launched a program with my blueprint, because my blueprint I haven't failed at. It doesn't fail because I compiled it through trial and error. So if you're trying to do your own trial and error, you're gonna fail for quite a while. So I can give you one that works, and it's never failed me. So that's the problem. I posted this on um, Instagram, and I just posted a quote from the German emperor, Otto von Bismarck, and he said, basically, you can. Well, I'll do a better version. Warren Buffett said, humans only learn from mistakes, but there's no rule that they have to be yours. So if you're depressed after 2 years of trying e-commerce, it's because you're only learning from your own mistakes. You're on a guaranteed path to nightmare, man. Vegan e-commerce brand, love it. If you know what you're doing, that one's powerful. That one's powerful. That one's a good one. Do I like Dave Ramsey? Yeah, I don't know much about him. It's all these financial gurus, Susie Orman, Dave Ramsey. I think some of their stuff's amazing, and some stuff I disagree. But that's just how the game goes. You're not going to agree with everybody. I think they say don't have any credit card debt. I think that's a mistake. I think if you don't have discipline, that might be true. Someone said, "Bro, what happened to the crypto? How come I'm not talking about it?" YouTube kicked crypto off. I couldn't talk about it anymore. So did Facebook. It ain't my fault. Um, Crypto, a lot of people made money in crypto. And that's another one about timing. Told people to get in. The time that I told people to get in, they're making money. And then things go in cycles and they drop, so you don't get in there. You can dollar cost average your way in, but it's better to buy low and sell high than buy high and sell low. So if you buy high, you're gonna have to wait it out for a while. Welcome to the world. Doesn't mean crypto's not gonna work. I mean, you got to ask yourself, crypto's in some form will work. Okay, and here's why. Humans are gonna want a digital currency. Now there are problems with crypto in the sense that a lot of people are launching crypto based businesses that are not good business people. I've met a lot of them. Some of them are amazing, and a lot of them are like, dude, you before crypto, the only reason you're relevant is because crypto. You didn't know how to build a good crypto business. You should be relevant before crypto. You should have skill before crypto. You shouldn't just be relying on the word blockchain. Should you target real estate agents for your SMMA? Yeah, I think that's a great way. Real estate agents do not know how to get leads. They're still doing physical advertising like bus bench ads. I'm like, oh my God. It's a good time to get Tesla stock now. It's a good question. I don't love the stock market. I don't love the stock market. Never have. There's a lot of insider information. It's the information that's out there is too equally dispersed. And then in another sense, it's not. So it becomes a real shotgun game, man. Is the housing market in a bubble? Some places it is. London, I called it 2 years ago in a YouTube video, 3 years ago. And now prices are down. It's a buyer's market, not a seller's market. Um, Hannah says, please go live more often. If I have insider info, should you trade on it? Not in America. You're going to go to jail. That's not worth it. I'm scared to pick up a phone and get rejected. Well, you got to pick your fears better. You should be more afraid of living a crappy life. That's what I would think about. People fixate on the wrong things. Fixate on the pain of living a crappy life. And then everything else becomes pretty insignificant. You know? So, all right, I'm going to go here. You got about 5 hours left to get in the program. Got partial scholarships. Click the link. If you don't see the link in the description, just go to tylopez.com/blueprint live. tylopez.com/blueprint live. And go to that link so you get the scholarship. I'm picking up part of the cost, so you don't have to pay full cost. Can't do it forever, though. People paid full price, so it's not fair to let everybody in forever with that at a scholarship level. So, Charles Wynn, thanks, Ty. Appreciate you. Thanks, man. Appreciate you too. Talk to you soon.